where we spread love and positive vibes. Thank you guys, the new subscribers and the returning ones. I do appreciate you. I don't take you for granted. Jamaicans, I want to start by telling you, you are blessed. I've seen several Jamaicans complaining about the island, about their government, about their corrupt leaders, but you don't know corruption until you come to Africa. The reason why I'm saying this, Jamaica is faced with something like a storm that is being predicted that it can hit Jamaica. And therefore yesterday I shot a video to actually offer a prayer to the people of Jamaica in this season where they are faced with this Marisa storm. But someone in the comment section came and told me the Jamaican government is usually well prepared for disaster management. And I decided to look at how prepared is the Jamaican government to disaster management. And what I saw actually shocked me, because Africa is way behind when it comes to disaster preparedness. And I'm going to show you why as I move on with the video. But first of all, let me highlight that Jamaica is faced with a lot of disasters like hurricanes, tropical storms, droughts, earthquakes, and I think that is all. So Jamaica often faces some hurricanes, some earthquakes, some storms as a result of the tropical rain. And this is the reason why Jamaica is faced with all this is because of the region where Jamaica is located, surrounded by the Caribbean Sea, and there is a lot of effect of the sea and the island. And therefore these disasters are very often in Jamaica. And I want to say, thank God that these disasters are not in Africa. Because if these disasters were in Africa, many people would die. By the way, I have always asked myself, how comes even after a disaster, you hear that no people died during that disaster, and there was a lot of coming back very soon. There is collection of garbage, there is building of the houses, there is coming back to normal. Like I looked at the Hurricane Beryl during that time when Jamaica was faced with Hurricane Beryl. And I want to tell you, I was shocked. By the way, the Jamaican people were complaining about electricity taking 2 weeks. Let me tell you something. In Africa, if such a disaster happened, God prohibit, I want to tell you that electricity can take a year. Like right now, the electricity can just go because of, are they called what? What are they called? Just something small. When that thing burns in the transformer, you'll stay without electricity for maybe 2 days or more. If a transformer gets destroyed, I'm talking about Kenya now because that is where I am, you can stay weeks and weeks without electricity. So when I found the Jamaican people complaining when Hurricane Beryl hit Jamaica, and they stayed maybe for 2 or 3 weeks without electricity, I was shocked because that was too fast for the government of Jamaica to restore electricity within those few weeks. It was a great plus from me. Now, I found that through the person that actually commented in my comment section that the government of Jamaica is always prepared for any disaster. And there is an organization by the name ODPEM. And this agency is doing great work in Jamaica when it comes to disaster. And that is why we find even after a disaster, Jamaicans go back to normal very fast, and they resume work and they resume a normal life very fast. Because the government takes the initiative to cap a lot of destruction of properties and a lot of deaths, it is already calmed before even the disaster strikes. Like there is this warning of Melissa, the storm Melissa. Already the government of Jamaica is very well prepared for Melissa storms. And the people, I understand, according to this person that commented in my comment section, the people have somewhere they can relocate to move away from the waves of the storm or the root of the storm, and they get shelter there and they are provided for until maybe the storm comes down. Jamaicans, you should come to Africa. I tell you, you will love your country, you will adore your country, you will actually. Not the way you say that if you found you are not born in Jamaica, you would sue your mom. This time, you love your country forever. Because Africa, I think the level of corruption in Africa is too high. Now let me show you. Let me go through what I found in Jamaica and I will compare with Africa. So that you can know you are at a very, very high level compared to where we are in Africa. And the reason why Africa is that behind, and I will not be ashamed to say that, is because of corruption, selfishness, greediness, and power hunger from the politicians and the leaders. They don't want to actually work for people, they work for themselves. They work to get filthy rich, they work to get great money, amount of money, but they don't consider the people who elected them, the people who put them to power. And they can go to any rank. Like for example, here in Kenya, I think one day I'll compare politics in Jamaica and politics in Kenya. Here in Kenya, there is a disaster that happened. We lost our former Prime Minister, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And the politicians, I don't know whether it is the politicians, let me not talk about politicians because I can find myself maybe in a shit. But I want to say, I don't know where this is coming from, but there is a tribal narrative that is being spread all over social media. And the people there, the readers, are just quiet about what is happening. If they are not really in it, they would talk about it and tell the citizens and the readers who are actually fueling this tribal narrative to shut up and don't divide the people into tribal lines. But why are they quiet? Why are they not speaking? Why are they not airing their voices? There are so many questions that you can find in Africa, and not just in Kenya. If you go to any country in Africa, there is so much problems that come as a result of the bad leadership and the bad governance. Maybe Burkina Faso and the other countries surrounding Burkina Faso, they have better leaders and better management and better welfare of the citizens. Now, let me come back to Jamaica because I was not talking about Africa. Let me highlight some of the measures the government of Jamaica has put to ensure their citizens are safe, their citizens do not go through loss during the disaster, and they come back as soon as possible after the disaster. So these are some of the measures the government of Jamaica has put to ensure the citizens of Jamaica are safe and their property is also safe. Now, first of all, the government of Jamaica has put a comprehensive disaster risk management, can I call it an organization? CDRM. And this is a policy that was passed between 2020 and it will go all the way to 2040. In other words, the government of Jamaica has prepared in advance for any disaster that is going to strike in Jamaica. They have also, this organization, CDRM, has coordinated coordinated by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. That is ODPEM. I think I have mentioned about it, ODPEM. So they are actually coordinated by this organization that caters for disaster preparedness and emergency management. It involves, in other words, the measures taken involves strengthening national and community level plans. Hey, Jamaicans, sometimes I envy you. Listen here carefully. So the disaster management team starts from the government up there to the community down there. In Africa, the government has nothing to do with the community. They see the community when they are looking for votes, and they come back after 5 years when they are looking for other votes. But I was shocked to learn that this disaster management organization has coordination from top there to the community level. And you're going to see how. Their work is to promote resilience in infrastructure and communities and implementing public awareness campaigns. So they actually prepare the public for any disaster that is on the way. I remember during this Melissa storm, I've seen a lot of media highlighting to people about the disaster that is about to hit Jamaica. And during Hurricane Beryl, I saw the media actually telling them the actual path of the hurricane and the most regions that are going to be affected by the hurricane. Oh my God, come to Africa. You'll see wonders. There is nothing like that. The other day, there were floods here in Kenya, and most people lost their lives. It's not a flood the magnitude of what happens in Jamaica. Small floods, but people lost their property, lost their lives, and on top of that, instead of the government coming to cushion them, they were sent away from the path of the floods, and they were pushed away without knowing where they were going. Look at the kind of preparedness the media does in Jamaica in this video.
Melissa is nearly stationary as the storm continues to churn in the Caribbean. Hey guys, I'm Tampa Bay 28 meteorologist Allie Blake, and as of the latest update from the National Hurricane Center, as of 5 a.m. on October 24th, 2025, Melissa is barely moving out in the Caribbean. I mean, when's the last time you've seen a storm have the word stationary next to it, that it's not moving at all? Winds still at 45 miles per hour, and the track takes it, of course, closer to Jamaica, still eventually becoming a hurricane by the weekend, and a major hurricane too, eventually moving around the island, which means someone's going to get some very heavy rainfall. We do have tropical storm warnings for Jamaica and portions of southern Haiti, at least for now. I expect to see some more watches and warnings expanded over the next few days. Also, very heavy rainfall. Some areas are likely going to see
Jamaicans are now nervously watching Tropical Storm Melissa.
Minister Samuda says there is no need for citizens to panic, but there is a need to prepare and to follow official sources of information. Ministry of Local Government says the 881 shelters across the island will be made available as the need arises. It is not lost on us that Melissa is the 13th named storm of the season, but notably the first to form in the Caribbean Sea.
Clear the air where you guys are concerned. If there are any concerns with anybody here, you can let us know as well. But we are not going to tolerate the reports that we are getting here. So if we have an issue, let us work it out today.
That girl, the queen, I'm going to tell you about it. I don't know me, a big up Slick 44 music news.
Expect to have a beautiful meeting, a very intimate meeting with all of you. Thank you.
This is DJ Slick 44 with a weather alert. We have a developing situation in Caribbean, so viewers and subscribers, I'm asking you please take this very serious. No, Tropical Storm Melissa has officially formed.
Planes are constantly heading out into this thing at this point in time. And the newest one that left is actually down in Bonaire.
This means right now Melissa is sitting in the south of the Hispaniola with winds 50 miles per hour. It means it's slowly moving towards the west or west-northwest. The storm is still organizing itself, and because it's moving slowly, meteorologists are not fully sure whether it will curve closer to Jamaica or stay more central in the Caribbean. But viewers and subscribers, what can we do? We have to just be prepared because we never know what will be the outcome of the storm. So be prepared is the key. So viewers and subscribers, Jamaica is now under a serious tropical storm watch.
The safety of our students, teachers, and the entire school community remains our highest priority.
And you tell me that your government is corrupt. You have not seen corruption. Come to Africa. You will find where corruption is. Because after the disaster can I call it a disaster or it was a minor disaster here in Kenya? There were retro floods and they affected the Nairobi River and some of the slums in Nairobi. I think even some of the YouTubers were showing them. And I think I'll show you, if I get those photos, I'll put them here. So, those floods actually carried people and many people died. You can imagine the magnitude of the storms that happen in Jamaica and the hurricanes that happen in Jamaica, and you hear none of the people have died. But here, a small flood kills a lot of people, and after that, their houses are destroyed by the government that they chose, and there is no replacement or they are not taken anywhere. Africa is Africa. Let me go on with Jamaica. So, this organization prepares people from up there, infrastructure and communities, and make them aware of the magnitude of the disaster and where the disaster is going to strike and the effect of that disaster, so that the people that are in the areas that can be affected by the disaster can be relocated early enough to avoid deaths. Yeah. So, efforts are also done to reduce vulnerability to natural and man-made hazards with a goal of minimizing the negative impacts of the disaster. You can see how prepared the government of Jamaica is. And by the way, I talked about ODPEM, which is the national, that has come to the national intervention. That means the government of Jamaica intervention when it comes to a disaster. So the ODPEM or ODPEM is the national body responsible for coordinating disaster preparedness and emergency response and relief operations. I was shocked, guys. I could not believe this. The Government Comprehensive Disaster Risk Management Policy, CDRM, I had talked about it, sets long-term goals to reduce the negative effects of disasters and the resilience. They put the resilience to people. So this is the CDRM, their work is to actually reduce the negative impact of the disaster, and they cater for the long-term effect of the disaster. There is also a national plan that includes mitigation, preparation, and measures that should be taken in case of a disaster. All these are done by the government of Jamaica in collaboration with the NGOs and the private sector. The other thing that shocked me is that the public health of Jamaica also comes in and provides people with food, water, and medicine. The work of the public health care here in Kenya, I've never seen them in any situation where there is a disaster. Actually, the Red Cross does that work. Provides relief food for the people that are suffering, and also provides medicine and provides water. But I've seen that in Jamaica, it is actually the public health ministry that does this work. That is well-coordinated disaster management, because the healthcare will not still, here in Kenya, by the way, people are given food to provide to the people that are faced with disaster, and medicine, and also maybe water. And I want to tell you categorically, some of the readers that are given these things, they will sell them for money. The medicine in hospitals is sold here in Kenya. People suffer from sickness while the medicine has already been sold. That is why I told you, don't even talk about your government being corrupt and all that, because you have not seen the kind of corruption that can be in Africa. Very, very bad corruption, where people corrupt everything, including the health centers, the food for poor, everything. They don't care how many people are going to sleep hungry. They don't care how many people are going to die as a result of the disaster. But I was shocked to learn that the public health of Jamaica is actually the one that provides food, water, and medicine. Let us come to the community. I told you that the preparedness of a disaster in Jamaica starts from the government to the community. And this community of Jamaica has also made me to be crazy mad with Jamaica. I think my retirement years I'll spend in Jamaica. I don't know. Because I've seen the community is very intact and it is involved in each and everything that happens in the country. The other day we were looking at the Carifta Games, and someone came to tell me that the children are prepared by the community for this competition. Where does that happen? Jamaicans, you are blessed. The children are offered assistance when it comes to their parents, and they are taken from the community to the government to where they're going to compete. What a system. So, how does the community get involved in these disasters? Authorities have appointed authorities. This is miracle. Local authorities have appointed disaster committees to ensure preparedness at the parish level, which includes implementing plans and coordinating local disaster relief. Chineke. Or even talking to Nigeria. You can imagine the local authority has appointed a committee for the disaster management in every parish in Jamaica. That means even the person in the rural areas will not die of disaster. Let me tell you guys, come to the northeastern of Kenya. People die of hunger. People die of lack of water. People die of poverty, with their leaders watching like this and they can do nothing. And not that they don't have money, just making people poor so that they can worship them. I'm not talking against our systems in Africa, but I want to say Africa has a problem. So the local community is involved in the disaster management. Disaster preparedness is promoted and provided to the community leaders, such as in the faith-based communities. The church is also included. The only place the church can be found, the church and the government comes together, is when they are playing politics, dirty politics. The church comes to get money from the government, and the government asks for favor from the churches. That is Africa. So to find that the church is also involved in disaster management in Jamaica, it was a plus for me. Let me tell you guys, you are blessed because every disaster that comes in your country, you have already prepared for it. You are ready to face it. And that is why there is minimum death and there is a lot of provision of shelter or food. I saw during Hurricane Beryl, every person in Jamaica was involved in clearing the debris along the sea, and there was a lot of construction going on to those that had lost their property and their houses had been destroyed. The YouTubers, like I saw Cora Smith, Kino, coming up to construct houses for the people that had faced disaster. Jamaica is a well-coordinated country, and that is why you do not suffer a lot from disasters. I love the kind of preparedness Jamaica has for any kind of disaster that hits the island. And I know the storm Marisa is not going to affect Jamaica very much because the government of Jamaica is already prepared, and also there is a lot of prayers going on. I saw one man calling upon every person to pray for the storm Marisa. That is a step forward, calling God and also preparing on the ground. I salute you, I salute you, I salute you. See you during the next video. Bye-bye and God bless.